a pretty good hold all the way around.
Yeah, it's interesting because Bang previously has played the Sage a couple of times on this map. Of course, the wall can be pretty annoying at locking down certain areas, halls, mid doors, these types of things. Now going to be rocking on towards that Astra, so you can pair that up pretty nicely with some other utility options. But on attack, you'll see TSM, this is how they play it. So you got a camera in mid from Hayes to make sure you can spot those rotations coming around and then get those very late lurks coming in towards the team. Leviathan's waiting for the creep up mid halls, though, and now they can attempt to open this door and get onto that A site.
It's a very interesting split. Still, though, A's not quite winning the rest of his team. Levi is a little bit of a problem for Envy. And that door just keeps getting open and closed.
It's the little mini game we all love to play.
Yeah. I didn't know this was Valorant Candy Crush expansion, but Sabrosa's popping oranges and just down to 2 players here for Envy.
Victor's not ready for it.
For Levi, not ready for it. Just down to Marv, and he's gone too.
I really liked how TSM played that round from, waiting in the corner there in mid halls, getting that first kill onto Leviathan, and then also just like the late lurks up there as well, playing really well around the door and committing onto that A site. Nicely done. The aim, of course, looking strong there too for TSM. So may just see a little bit of a rinse and repeat on that one. Interesting to see Wardell on the Sheriff this round. I believe he went for that in the last one too. Usually going to be going on to the Ghost in most games, but Breeze is a map where there's a lot more space to cover. So it does make sense investing a little bit more heavily into that longer range one shot. It's actually a force from Envy as well, I'm noticing now too. So on the heavy armor people, just on Ye, won't be from that long range. But I do like forcing on a map like Breeze where you can get a couple of marshals and get a whole lot of damage done. This is a map where if you have a strong opper, a strong marshal user, you can definitely turn these rounds straight around after losing out on pistol.
I've seen maps where it's 5 marshals on the anti-eco.
I love it.
It does get a little crazy. Oh! There's the first pick though for Ye on said weapon, but Sabrosa.
Is that thing a marshal or a shotgun? I can't tell.
Yeah. Still, Envy on this force up is going to feel the pain being down a member already. They're going to open the door and hope to see what is on the other side. Marshall here. Crashies and Victor. Victor from the longer range, Crashies from the tighter range, and they're looking for Marv on the flank through A lobby. May just be looking for exits. They are kind of just not really forcing the issue. Wardell's getting up close and personal here to Victor. Knows that there's a marshal on the opposite side, and they need ways out, right? So they have to force these issues as fast as they can. Now they're going to start chasing down Crashies. Misses that shot. That has to hurt. Now just down to Marv. Nobody's going his way since TSM have cleared the opposite direction, and that's round 2 for TSM.
That won't be too damaging to Marv there. Of course, can just make sure he dies in the next round, then get the upgrade going into round 4. But it is the price you pay when you go for a full investment on that second round. Also important to note, like with all of the smoke coverage that TSM went for, that's a big difference switching away from a Sage in your comp to an Astra. Those scouts could do hardly anything. Like that site was just sliced up so many different ways. You even had the cyber cages coming out of Cypher, so it was really hard to actually find an angle. So the retake there with a couple of marshals just was not going to happen from Envy. If they were ever going to do that, they would have to posture aggressively or hope that TSM overcommitted stepping forward outside of their smokes, and made it really hard for them to make many waves in that one.
There's a big thing happening with this dog early from Sabrosa. Finesse has been in the position to get rid of it every single time. And, I think TSM is looking for information on seeing who is kind of playing close to the A site. Well, okay, hold on. Wait a second.
Good night.
Well, the
round's over. Continue your point. You're good.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what that develops into, because once Finesse breaks the dog, he just backs away and the rest of the round plays out. But it's like the dog's gone at the beginning of the round, every round, because Sabrosa's trying to clear A, but he gets taken care of by Finesse every single round. So what does that develop into for the rest of this half? That's going to be something I'm going to be looking at.
It is curious. It is possible there's a level of like conditioning with that one, where maybe one time you have a player swinging out with the dog too, and all of a sudden Finesse has been lulled into that false sense of security where he can just shoot the dog and back away. But definitely one we'll have to keep our eyes on. Envy there just trying to take control over mid, but did not work for them in the slightest. Again, it is so hard to push into the Cypher. You can see some of the stars set up from this Astra 2 to smoke off mid doors, maybe get a suction in or something like this. Just cause some havoc as Finesse with the spam through the smoke just headshots Wardell.
Oh, finds another right over the pipes, and they'll be coming into the pyramids as well. But Envy at this point, not really much to be super excited about as Finesse pops on the swing with the nano swarm. What a great round there from Envy. I like that. Finesse has been such a strong hold here on the A site. And that was the round where we really got to see him shine.
Yeah, he was definitely heating up towards the end of Haven as well. So coming in with 4, it's going to be a good look for him. Of course, that was a very different look for attacking the A site for TSM, putting a whole lot of pressure up towards mid. Reminder, they had Spectres. They had a couple of rifles, I do believe, but not enough to just willingly go into these longer range battles. So that's something you can do, right, is go for that mid door attack, try to shorten the angles you take when you are on those slightly weaker buys, and well, make sure you have your gun out when there could be an op on the other side. Yay shuts down Leviathan and Halls.
I thought that was Spike too, but that was actually just the op dropping after he fell. Spike over towards the B side. This might be the first look here from TSM cheat over towards the B side, but 3 members here. Bit of a read from Envy trying to anticipate this A site isn't all that it seems, with Wardell just sending shots. Oh, they're gonna send players over. They're gonna send at least Victor.
I think TSM have realized that there hasn't been a big rotation over yet. They were trying to make noise and then maybe get those players to leave B and get the spike down. But as soon as they realized, wait a second, Envy are holding their ground. There aren't a lot of people in these close angles. We can actually take so much space here. Crashies in a perfect spot, but his shoulder is spotted over the corner, and Sabrosa gets him for it.
That darn cape. Damn it.
No capes.
No capes. Oh, no. Okay. Still, though, there was an opening pick from Ye, so this is a 4v4. And TSM just slowly walk onto the site, and now, oh no, Hayes is in a little bit of trouble, but so the flash isn't quite coordinated as Envy would have hoped. Victor still manages to come out with the even trade, 3v3, as TSM now getting into position. Op v op is available here as Wardell is going to be looking for Ye and vice versa. Lockdown is plopped.
And look at Sabrosa on the
really
minimap.
Good.
So with the lockdown, Sabrosa has taken this huge lurk on through here, trying to get in from behind on that Halls player, but Ye actually falls anyways.
That's a very important pick. Now they'll see at least one player kind of struggling to survive. It's Victor, 1 player remaining. Finesse, he's going to save the weapon. Very good call out there on Sabrosa. That was kind of a weird position for Envy to be in. Crashies was kind of the one and done position, and if he found the pick, it would have been a completely different round, but that darn cape.
So frustrating on that one. I mean, these are the types of things that we're going to have to keep our eyes on for TSM, though, is like, because those late lurks are so punishing on this map. Being able to pop out bridge, take control over Halls. It was one of those things where, because Envy had taken full control over Halls, Sabrosa actually left out double doors. So it was like, I actually have all the time in the world to make this flank happen. And it ultimately ended up being the rest of his team locking down the site, making sure that Envy weren't going to be able to get in there. But now they actually don't give up that they went for that late flank. So it could be an option for Sabrosa a little bit later on. This is that dog you were talking about earlier that comes around the corner, gets shot immediately, tells them KJ is here. I guess there is a certain amount of information you can glean off of that and say, well, Killjoy's utility is going to be on this A site, and that could be another idea of their play, but still waiting to see if they do anything a little bit extra with a move like that.
Yeah, moreover, to your point, he hasn't really been focused on here for TSM. I mean, if A works, why stop forcing that issue? But Ye, he's pushing up. He's going to have a pretty good angle on at least Hayes to the left side. Nope, not yet. Camera does spot him out, and that's what Hayes was looking for. And now Ye, he got all that control, which is fine. Has to worry about his mid flank.
It's all about the space you can take on attack, and that's why you have the Hunters coming out here to give some information. Tell Envy that there are a couple players over towards that B site. So Broza gives up his position, knows there's a player playing right over by those doors, but it's all about these late moves, because you'll notice like Hayes has not left cave, right? Is just waiting for the rest of the team to rotate on back. TSM seem much more comfortable taking this A site and holding it in the post plant. So once again, that is going to be the aim of attack for them. It's up to Sabrosa to maybe find a play through these mid doors here.
Oh, that's so brave there from Sabrosa. Manages to take down Crashy. Just over and over, manages to control it onto Sabrosa, but of course,
10 seconds left.
time it took.
Spike planted.
He's there on the swing. Great control for TSM. They try to get Sabrosa up through the lurk, gets spotted from B, and still manages to find a peek through the doors. Now 2 players remain here for Envy, and it's not looking like a promising situation.
I don't think so. They don't have any flashes left. They used their last one over by Bridge. They're like, okay, we have to walk into 4 players, an operator, and no utility? Probably not a good play. Let's go ahead and back on out of that one. And I mean, it was so brutal because it looked like there were 2 players from Envy trying to play over towards double doors and get that trade going. But the execute from TSM was timed in such a way that the second Sabrosa was coming through double doors was the second the rest of TSM was popping straight out of cave. So that second player wasn't even able to get the trade onto Sabrosa, was able to get that first one pretty much for free. It has been very crisp, the attack here for TSM, and just completely locking down this A site. And now we turn to Envy and ask them, like, what are you going to start changing up? Because it seems like they haven't really found a good fire back. You know, when they've tried to play down halls, they've been shut down a little bit. And the few times they've been hit through double doors, it's not gone well for them either.
Yeah, good time for a attack timeout. Still 6 rounds left, including this one halfway through. We get to think about what they want to change up. So currently, they've got Marv and Victor positioned over on the B site, and it seems to be working, right? They can use the guiding lights to get intel, and then, of course, they've got the toxic screen to go up to. You know, if there is a pop, they're going to take damage popping through. But this A side holds a little bit of a problem. Now, we praise this NV team for kind of the positioning, but TSM are finding little holes, little windows, like the one that you highlighted last round where Sabrosa popped at the same time that they were popping from cave. And it's things like that that NV have to kind of take into consideration. We'll see what changes because it's not really been great. TSM have found varying slight different ways to get onto that A site and do so with a great succession.
And in Envy's defense, you know, the one other time we have seen them play Breeze was against Sentinels, and their defensive side was not very strong there either. You know, 3-9 was their score on that one. And well, the last time we saw TSM play on this map was against FaZe not too long ago, and they went 10-2 on defense. So good news for TSM when they switch over to that other side, is they have looked pretty good on that one. Notice that Hayes has taken so much up towards that elbow area. Marv not expecting it. Really nice initial pick for TSM. And we'll see what it changes, because right now Envy have committed 4 players towards this A site, and TSM not look for B just yet.
Wow, Ye's gone. He was looking for an aggressive position. There's going to be the pit that goes up. Victor going up forward, and the pit will go down. Unfortunately, caught by, I believe, the guiding light or something. Couldn't see. He was only seeing green. TSM with another round. Let's talk a little bit about Hayes and kind of the success he found. Envy maybe looking for a little bit more space on that B site, knowing that TSM's so heavy on the A side, and Hayes is like, yeah, come on out, come on over, I'm ready. They have at least 1 player there. That's good enough. Hayes finds that frag.
It's a tough situation to be in for Envy, you know. They even try the stack towards A. Granted, don't have a whole lot of guns to fire back up against TSM, but that doesn't work either. Now we have Ye playing over towards mid with an operator in hand. He's actually going to be taking the peek over towards elbow, and it could be if they wanted to gain a little bit more pressure up mid. The problem is, against this Cypher Cam, you can't take space in mid. You know, they're putting their drone there. They're potentially considering walking up, you know, a Victor later in the round if they want to, but that camera is always going to be such a nuisance. It's so important to be able to shoot that down and break it, which I believe Envy were able to do. And now that creates a little bit more caution that TSM have to respect up that mid push.
This is like the most different round we've seen from TSM. And I think maybe the attack timeout, they're just feeling things out first.
But even like Sabrosa has just crept over to A stack. Like he's just on A site. Like no matter what TSM are doing, it seems to just all be working. Even with players leaning over towards A, there's no one on B right now. And the spike may just very well walk onto that site too. Envy have given up full control to try and fight back a little bit over mid, and it's going to work. Ye gets 1, but they surrender B site.
Yeah, a little bit easier on the retake compared to A, I think. But they still have to deal with it, finding that initial pick. Look at the position here from Victor, able to wrap around, has to go through the smoke, but Wardell's there with the knives. That flank could have been a little bit beneficial to Envy, but they already lose it. Cosmic Divide to go up to make this retake even more challenging, but at least it's going to give Envy the space to push up. They can send some of their utility in. Still nothing here from the Marv utility, as he did not place anything on the B side. Now he's going to plop it down. I like that it's late. Now it goes up. The push on through. Bang's ready behind one of the corners. And Hayes on the opposite side. They're just waiting for them to push in. Come on in. Shot's good there from Finesse. That's Hayes down. Just down to 2 players here is Wardell. Still playing around. Still waiting for Bang on the swing. The push in there from Wardell. Tailwinds forward. Just down to him. But
There's no time.
The spike is ticking. There is no time. Doesn't matter if Envy find success in. It's the Red Bull clutch. TSM.
Oh no, the Cosmic Divide. Envy waited the entire time, and then they're just out of time, unable to clear those positions in the back of sight. It wasn't even like TSM did that much fancy work in that one. You know, Wardell had some repositioning as he got that pick over in B main, and then repositioned back onto site using that Viper wall. That was a nice maneuver from him to be able to peek on through and get a pick, but it's just Envy taking a little bit too much time and running out of it. They had a 5 versus 3 situation, and they didn't want to make mistakes. That's the problem there. They don't want to lose any picks walking through that Astral Divide, but the Cosmic Divide rather, and they end up being punished so heavily for it. Again, Envy seem to think the idea is going to be taking a little bit more space up mid and up halls. The push from Finesse, but they are just scrambling to try and find a round here.
Normally Levi would be pushing up through here, and Sabroso will be at where Levi is, but little swap. Finesse might find himself one of the most annoying TSM players that constantly has been a threat throughout the course of this half. Okay, a little bit challenging to land that one, and still ends up finding it onto Levi, but Hayes is going to be wrapping around from doors very, very late. That's going to be a little bit problematic for Envy. Now, they don't really have the best weapons. Hayes finally makes his impact. TSM just very comfortable with just waiting this one out, playing all the different positions they have. Look at Sabroso. Like, how do you get in a position like that?
Yeah, well, he won the duel up halls, and that took out one of the only rifles for Finesse. Finesse had a Vandal going into the round, but lost the fight up halls, and, well, you lose full control over the entire map. I think even the spike got planted at the very end over on the B site by Bang. Getting the job done for the team, making that one happen. Sabrosa, look at him, though, 13-4. On the map, having a real good time. I mean, it's been him, you know, pushing into A, sometimes solo, him going up halls through mid. Like, he's sort of the second lurker a lot of the time alongside that Cypher, but the aggressive one, the one that likes to get those pushes actually going on A or up mid, and it has been working out so incredibly well for TSM. Envy just do not look like they have an answer.
And back to business. Levi tunnels. Oh. Sabroso sending that dog out.
Oh, timing.
I love this. I love this. Great pick. Levi's still going to get the space. It seems even though TSM can still stabilize off of this.
Leviathan doesn't actually want to push through that door. That's where things start to get a little bit hairy. You got to clear a couple of different angles, so you got to be real sure no one's going to be watching that one. But you'll notice mid completely belongs to TSM. Hayes and Bang have crept up from elbow, and they even have that Astra smoke to let them cross into nest. And this is going to let Leviathan peek at the same time back in towards defender spawn. You'll watch them all moving in coordination. This attack from TSM so nicely planned, but a little bit unfortunately there. Crashies finds to end the third. Even with the coordination there, they did not expect that player to be right underneath them. A great fire back from Crashies to buy Envy their second round of the half.
Wow, that was phenomenally played. You talk about the timing for Levi to pop out, but it never came. Crashies just gave them so much respect, so much space, but worked out in the end. But Wardell, hold on a second. 1v3. What do you got cooking up for us? I think this dude Crashies playing close. He's got it, the 4K on the round. To be honest with ourselves, that round was desperately needed by Envy. They needed some sort of lifeboat, some sort of life raft to take them into the second half. And that was it. Still, the economy is going to be great for TSM, but you highlighted so many beautiful points in this round.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this creep up from Ye is great. And Envy needed a hero player to show up. Like, they just weren't, like, no one was going to be that player for them. And Crashies just decided, you know what, 1 kill isn't enough for me. I'm going to have to find 4. And it was very nicely done for him. The first 2 kills, great. The third one, exceptional. And, well, very nicely done from him. So this time, TSM fire back with a little bit of quick mid control. Still have that spike left near spawn. It's just going to be Wardell gaining this space because the last few rounds, TSM have just given that up. Last round, of course, they did get that creep up from elbow, and that was almost very nice for them. But again, just trying to find a couple of different looks here as the attack seems to be more focused around mid doors and seeing if someone's going to cross that angle.
Similar to what we saw in Haven, Envy don't like to give too much away, which is what is allowing actually TSM to push up ever so slightly. Checking angles, pushing up, checking angles, pushing up.
Envy have a lot of ultimates to work with this round too. So if TSM take their time, that can be problematic for them. We saw them just lose a round on Haven because they ran out of time, and they've had some 10, 15-second remaining plants to work with. But when you have something like the Hunter's Fury or the Lockdown, you can shut that down very nicely. TSM seem to want to creep in towards A. Bang is in position, but gets dinked, bonked through the box. Marv gets that one, and now Marv in a great position again to just slow things down. Less than 30 seconds here, and you have the Viper util to slow it all down. The Hunter's Fury, Crashies has a couple of shock darts as well. This is exactly what Envy need.
Well, they pop in. Wardell's the first to go. Hayes has the up, strangely so. Still going to find its mark. Wardell has gone hunting. The battle there for Crashies goes sour as Levi punches back as well.
Exactly.
3v2. Neurotheft's going to give them all the information that they know, but that means that Victor's got to turn on the jets to push on in, finds one at least to start, and they're going to try to stop from the doors, but Finesse walks through it anyway, just the tail end of it. Now, popping through the screens, are they going to have to do that? They might just wait things out. There's a flash. Unfortunate, so unfortunate. Just down to Finesse. The quick flick for Hayes, then the quick round for TSM.
I was just about to say, I'm not sure if the op is exactly what Hayes wants in that position, but as soon as it turns into a 1v1 and no one expects him to be playing over by that right pyramid, well, that's going to turn into a 9th for TSM. Again, Envy, one time we saw them on this map, only were able to secure 3 rounds against Sentinels on attack. That's also Sentinels. TSM, of course, no slouch, but Envy are in a very, very difficult position. Have enough to get a buy off. It looks like Crashies is going to be the only one without a gun to work with here, a rifle to work with, but they still have those ultimates, and it does feel like by playing on site with Crashies there, it did stop him from being able to use that to slow things down. Do you get a cheeky turn or no? Wow. Crashies is wiggling around there. The force from using those shock bolts is enough to push him around the corner and let him get picked off.
Oh, Marv is in a really good spot, though. Has the Spectre, but it doesn't matter. He's looking to try to flank them in. There's the spray, looking for at least one. The quick turnaround from Bang, that's the spike down. Sabrosa still, he's going to be turning on the jets, pushing up forward. Finally deals with Marv, who was lurking around. Victor was also somewhere in all of that craziness. And now it's just down to Finesse. Final round of the half. Can he win this 1v3? He's got the lockdown available. TSM have a lot more to work with. Played slow. Probably not going to be using the lockdown, at least to start. Checking his corners first. Wardell's going to be his first contact point. That's one. Levi knows exactly where he's located, so he's going to try to throw that poison cloud down. Sabrosa's looking for the swing in, but they can play in and out of all of this smoke. Sabrosa.
Oh, he saw the arm.
He did it. No, he didn't. Oh, no, didn't see him. 10-2. What a great half from TSM.
TSM absolutely crushing. What a dominant performance from them. Envy just had absolutely no answer, and they're going to have to find one big time. We're going to have to take a quick break before we come back for the second half of Breeze.
Welcome back. The Challengers Playoffs, Map 2, Half 2, TSM 10-2.
Here.
And they are looking real good, Ender.
I want the bars to keep coming. You had a bit of a flow going there. I was digging it.
I don't
another
got
time.
else.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done.
I just wanted to jam with you. I could get a little beatbox going, something like that. Put on a little teamwork.
I'm the one. I want a talent show for beatboxing.
Really?
Back in high school, yeah, little Easter egg, little talent Easter egg, yeah.
All right,
So you gotta get the bars.
Yeah, musical performer. You and Average Jonah should team up and maybe get a little combo play working. Anyways, we are on to the second half, and of course, this is if you're wondering, this is TSM's map pick. So it is expected that TSM win this one. Envy only one game played, and it was a pretty convincing loss on their behalf against Sentinels. So we'll see what they can do on the attacking side of things right now, actually, with a quick workup towards Elbow. I kind of like this as far as attacks go, but you'll notice TSM are not in their own spawn. They are in Envy's spawn, and very fast on this rotation to hit Envy from the back.
Oh, very quick pop there from Victor. Bang is down, and Hayes has been overwhelmed. I was wondering how long they were going to survive anchoring down the site, but you can see TSM coming in from the opposite side, but they know this! They smell it off the first pick and trade things out accordingly. Only losing Ye in the process. A great bounce back here for Envy, but still a lot of work to do.
Yeah, that was nice. There's actually a turret on the flank from Finesse that actually spotted, gave information that there was going to be TSM members pushing back through their spawn, and all the while, Finesse was able to creep up down mid. It's been the idea of taking control over mid on this map can be so quick can be so strong for finding rotations, finding these quick little picks, sneaking into positions that are pretty difficult to clear away if you are on the side of TSM. And once again, it's going to be a mid-A split instead this time, using that dog to clear out those close corridors around double. And TSM look to get really aggressive on defense once again. Just a couple of pistols here, but they can find that quick push and actually drop down through the vent in mid. That's a little bit confusing as Finesse will get traded out. TSM have a rifle.
It's not something you want to have happen here for Envy, but Victor in a prime position. He wants to go down the vent too, as there's a lot of TSM members coming into the doors. Wardell's in a little bit of an interesting spot as well, as he swings off onto Ye. Not going to quite work out for him, as finally Victor will fall. And once again, 3v3, spike ticking here. TSM need to act, and going to be a little bit of a challenge getting back into this A side.
I think it's going to be about the exits. They're running out of time. You actually saw Hayes dropped his Sheriff to hand over to Sabrosa because, of course, he's going to be rocking the Spectre for himself. Leviathan was trying to get the exit on that side. So, yeah, TSM just going to run in here, make sure they die to the spike, reset their economy a little bit. Envy doing the right choice there, sticking together on the exit once it was evident that TSM were not going to be playing for winning the round, instead just going for the little bit of economy damage if they were going to be able to get a kill. But I do love seeing the scoreboard sometimes and seeing TSM with 10 rounds and Bang's just chilling on 1 kill. Because the man is like, look, he's playing Astra. He kind of has to sit in the back and just drop down his little stars. The rest of his team is just killing too many players before he even has a chance to shoot someone. That's got to be the worst feel in the world.
Yeah, he's playing the Astra minigame, you know, and you got to do it for your team. Just push here from Wardell. No, he's going to take one in the opposite direction. Still Sabrosa waiting for the swing. There's the pop, and he's being tagged up by the Marshal. Oh,
there's nowhere to go.
Underneath the vent. Crashy's in a little bit of trouble, but he's covered by Ye. Finally, when he makes his way out, though, Hayes has that one, but already trades in favor here for Envy.
The Ye Crashies duo playing up mid there was absolutely gorgeous. Ye taking that first, duel to then allow Crashies to sneak in a little bit closer. Then he gets the trade with the Spectre. Beautifully done. And you know what? One of the things you have to learn bringing a new Jet into the roster is how you play those initial frags. Looking for those initial plays. Very nicely done by that duo. Look at your map, though. A long push up through mid in towards defender spawn from Marv. It's all about the timing here. If he can catch Bang on this cross here, and Bang, don't know if he suspects it. He's a little bit cautious to make that push come on through, but now you can just get that rotation over towards B. Marv's like, hey, no one's biting on the push from B site, so maybe go over towards B, and I can get some players rotating from A to that B site.
30 seconds left.
This position, though, is all about timing. like you highlighted, but even more so now that it's going to be the B side focus. Guiding light in. Okay, that is heard by Bang. Maybe. Nope. Nope.
I don't think so. It also, I mean, it tells Victor that there's probably going to be no one on this site. There's not a lot of places to hide away from a flash like that. Marved. Oh, it's so good on the timing. Just one more second. He turns away. This is all he needs. He hears them running. Doesn't get the shots though.
No, Marv. No, just down to Victor. That feels so bad if you're Marv. He did take them low though, so we do have to consider that. Guiding light to pop out. Still lots of players. Too many angles to cover. Very well done. So unfortunate for Marv.
Honestly, that felt like one of those rounds where if Envy is going to win this map, they needed that from Marv to at least get one there. Because yeah, with a Spectre from long range, it's probably hard to get two before the other player can pull a 180 and fire back against you. Maybe it's possible, but that's a little bit more up in the air. But not getting that first one basically takes all the chances away from Victor, stuck on that site in a 1v3, from pulling that one off. Now TSM just 2 rounds away from taking this. Envy still have enough to get majority of rifles here. Do have one Sheriff and a Spectre, unfortunately for them, but an op in Ye's hands, and maybe he can get something done with that. Still, though, seems like a very large mountain to climb for Envy to come back in this half.
Uh-oh. Wardell. Nope. Manages to make it out. Very tight. Seeing a lot more mid control here from Envy as opposed to TSM's kind of attacking style.
Here.
A lot of information.
I've got your
Not even
trail.
smoking this cross, because we did see TSM do this once, but they smoked the cross to try and push into Nest. This seems to be just a straight up B hit. They can come in at multiple different angles, but you have to be able to clear arches. That's going to be one of the hardest here. And Crashy's going to have to come up with that one, but Bang gets his.
Wow. Ye is just on fire. Then the angle here from Marv looking deep in, and he's going to run right into Wardell. Still very doable for TSM. They just have to kind of get back together. Hayes is going to be the first contact point. Wardell's going to be running right into the open arms of Crashies and doesn't spot Wardell on the bridge there. Now, 2v2. No, this is not the way it's supposed to be going. Finesse now alone on the site. 1v2. This is very doable for TSM.
I don't actually think there's a Molotov on the spike either. He's got them in the back of sight, in the entrance towards B as well. So it's gonna come down to the guns here to make it happen. Here's the tap. Sees heads.
Oh, it's close. Oh, they just need to wrap around. Oh, he's sticking it. Oh, Finesse. One more player. There's not enough time. Finesse with the Red Bull clutch.
Beautiful from Finesse. That is what you need if you're an Envy fan trying to hold on in this one. Stuck on that site, doesn't have mollies on the spike, has to rely on the gunplay, and he goes so good. Hayes isn't even looking at him, but they had no time. TSM had to commit to sticking that spike for full. Just guessed wrong on which angle Finesse was going to be peeking from. Envy are going to take a timeout here, even after winning that round. Make sure they can reset themselves and go back out to try and grab themselves a 6, because you cannot stop this train just yet. Sorry, that is a TSM timeout. So TSM instead going to be changing their minds. It would have been a genius move from Envy to, really think through the rest of their half, but no, it is just TSM losing around and figuring out what to do with pistols, and more likely the round after this, what their stat's going to be.
Well, let's talk about that. They have 3 ultimates, 2 of which can be used pretty handily. Zabroza finds any sort of pick, and he's pretty much guaranteed an ultimate as well. So they can really layer a lot to get round 12, right? Particularly, how do you end up using that pit? How do you use those blades? That's going to be a big question.
We use the blades here for sure. And then the question, if you're using pit, then you're probably also going to invest in like a judge or something like this. And Sabroza did have money to go for a judge if you wanted to, but I think knowing that you're up so many rounds, you don't need to scramble to win an eco round, right? You use your blade storm because that's, that's what you do on Jet on eco rounds, because next round you're going to be able to invest in an operator for yourself, but you do not need to overforce and risk losing those ults that could be so impactful for a round on even buys, because you just need the 2. And Wardell, go on a rampage. Why not?
Yeah, he's going to want that weapon too, maybe. Oh no, it was knives. So there's really...
He lets Sabroza run up for that gun, I think. Actually, Sabroza changes his mind even.
That's a phenomenal opening, by the way. To really stop this Envy momentum as we speak of the devil. Momentum found in the hands of Victor and Marv in very deep.
Yeah, how does he keep
Bang.
getting away with it? Every time, just creeping on through. So frustrating to deal with there. And of course, you know, TSM weren't putting a lot of control over towards Halls. On this lighter buy, they really wanted to fight over Cave, but now they've given up at B site, and there's another lurker. Like, it just never stops on this map. You know, you have Viper up Halls, you have Finesse chilling in Vent here. Like, why not? More players just keep turning around the corner, and he turns it into 3 out of nothing.
That is crazy. That's just the Vandal going to work, you know? This is why the Vandal versus Phantom debate will never end. It'll never end because you feel like your Vandal's like inconsistent, you know, and your Phantom is a little bit more consistent, but then you've got rounds like that where just the headshots come through and it feels so good, and you're like, damn, okay, maybe I'm a Vandal user now. No, damn it, I'm back to Phantom.
You do the classic flip-flop throughout the game. You start missing heads with the Phantom. You're like, oh, I just need the Vandal. That'll make me better, you know.
Yeah.
Take another hit. And it's good stuff there from Envy. Now, of course, an operator back in the hands of Wardell. We saw a lot of TSM on attack using the dog up through Cave. Now it's going to be a drone instead, and very interesting Viper's pit there, because you could use something like that dog to like very quickly clear out through there, but it looks like Sabrosa either didn't have enough money, or sorry, not Sabrosa, should be looking over at Victor. Victor does still have that dog, of course, and could work through there if they want to.
That's their answer for Marv. That pit, that's their answer.
I mean, valid. I mean, you do what you got to do, but there's another lurker too, right? Like, now Finesse has crept up through mid. He's like, okay, we know a Viper is in Halls. A-site might be a little bit light. 2 and Hayes gets spotted. You don't want to see that. Ye gets the opener. It's starting to fall apart here for TSM.
Oh, that's such a close angle for Ye. Finds Hayes still around the bend. Pit is up. Spike is ticking. 3 players remain for TSM, and they are running for the stone fences all the way to B sites, keeping those weapons strong. And Finesse is going to be maybe kind of peeking around, still trying to figure out where they might be. He's really not giving up his position, watching those potential door flanks that could come in from TSM, but they're not looking for the spike, and he's going to lose his life. They know where Sabrosa is for the moment, for that at least they're not playing for the site. Does Envy go hunting?
Gone.
At least for one.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, because at this point, you've strung a couple rounds together for Envy. They're not going to be hurting their pockets for money in this one, whereas you know Wardell went for the operator. 1 HP through the wall. Wardell gets a couple, and again, this isn't the end of the world for Envy, but getting the kill on Wardell, getting the operator out of his hands would have been so big for Envy. You can see it, Wardell, 18 frags on the map here, so many with the operator in his hands too. Could have been instrumental in shutting down for TSM for just another round, because as it stands, the rest of TSM isn't going to be able to go for a bye. So winning a 12th round for TSM is up to whether or not Wardell can find a pick or two at the start, and if not, walk it back, save it one more time.
Take
You have Wardell looking into cave, gonna find some Killjoy utility before he pushes, but on the opposite side, it's Envy pushing up through elbow. Uh-oh, Sabrosa on the run. He does have a weapon. Flash out, and there's the swing. It's good. And they'll follow up with another punch as well off of Marv, down to just 2. The original members on the A-side anchor. This is looking like a round for Envy here.
Yeah, I mean, the mechanical attack there from Envy was just absolutely sublime. I mean, you don't expect TSM to be playing 3 players on that angle. Wardell's been waiting for that one for a long time. But in all honesty, Ace gets his too. That's very nicely done. Should go try and retrieve that gun, more than likely. But I do want to talk a little bit about how they execute that, because you have like Victor coming around the corner that's not like over swinging. You know, if he takes an extra step around that corner, he's of course going to be traded out by that 3rd player. And then you have, I believe it was Marv that swings out after him. So on a mechanical level, very nicely done from them. And now that op is out of Wardell's hands.
Yeah, and we're 11-8. We'll see what Wardell can buy, because that's going to be a pivotal factor. We're getting close to that tie. And TSM have already used their tack timeout. Let's have a look at the replay. This was a great swing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Victor doesn't over-peak there, because then he's going to get traded by Leviathan. Then Marv goes in after him, and he's ready to get that kill against Leviathan. That's high-level play right there. clearing your corners, getting into an area, and breaching onto a site. Now, Envy are geared up around that A site. That lurk up through Hall has been very good for them, and now, of course, there's no ultimate to stop them. Yay gets Wardell. The op is down, and now Envy are going to try and burst into the site.
Oh, it's unfortunate for Levi, just trying to spray through the flash. Does end up getting caught. Sabrosa on this really deep push up through mid. There's going to be a player up the ropes. Doesn't spot him. Down he goes. And still the flash looking to pop through. The turret is down there to support. The swing from Crash. He still finds its mark there from Finesse, and it's just down to lonely old Hayes.
Wow. I mean, the timing that was almost brutal. Oh, Finesse, he's going to get traded again. Look at this. Like, every single time, Envy are responding accordingly, getting a player out. Double Doors ready to trade that one, too. But the even better one is, I think it was Crashy swinging out of Cave once that second flash goes down, and Finesse is just in a miserable position, stuck down at the bottom of rope. He calls in Crashies. Crashies is there to make sure that they can have two players against one, get that kill, and shut down TSM for yet another round. It is the individual level here and the coordination on a tactical level, not even necessarily just tactically, 2 players, 3 players playing off of one another that Envy have really used to bounce back on this attacking side, because on defense, they were just getting blitzed. TSM was running just about anywhere they wanted to be, but now that Envy can have that buddy system a little bit more and choose when and where they want to go in, they're really allowing their individual ability to show.
Oh my goodness. Ye has been on fire in the second half. Hayes now just trying to find safety. Shot's good for Marv. That's not Ye. We're looking at Ye's perspective, but he's not the one that finds the pick. Sheriff's online here for TSM, and they're trying to make their mark, pushing through the mid doors. But they're being pushed back by utility. Bang down to 52. There goes the spray, and Marv just like, I know you guys have nothing. Okay? Evening the playing field. Pistols only. He still wins the duel there.
All right,
now
Wardell, you got a shorty. Yeah, that's a nice looking shorty. It's the all matte black variation. It's very popular for everyday carry. And well,
my God,
you hate to see it.
He had the jump. He just a little patient, a little more patience. 11 to 10, Ender. 11 to 10. This is starting to get really, really scary for TSM. I think an overtime is possible. If we get like 8-2 halves, very, very possible with the way Envy have been playing. But this is the round that it matters most, right? This is the round where TSM, they're buying down to their economy once again. Wardell's op, heavy armor, everything. They've got ultimates, Cosmic Divide, Cabbages. They've got This is the round TSM need to win. They want that overtime.
Yeah, Flash pushes Ye back out of mid, and watch Wardell getting aggressive with the operator. It's been an aggressive op duel, and it's Wardell that gets that one. That's big, and he also boosts up, checks, sees no one else in mid. Now you have to worry about the push up through halls, but they have a tripwire here this time. This is important for TSM to make sure not too much trouble, and Wardell gets a second. That is absolutely huge. When does this trip get broken, if ever? Because they've actually been able to take a whole lot of space up there. They can see into TSM spawn, so it may even be giving a little bit of false sense of security over to TSM if they end up pulling out the rotations. The problem is, for Envy, there's only one player to attack out of A main. It is just Crash, and there's 2 players staring straight at him on the crossfire.
It's broken, and it's not really quite communicated to Levi. Sabrosa in a little bit of a troubling spot himself. Manages to stay alive. Not only that, but find a pick onto Crash. He's pushing in through Cave. The spray from Marv. Oh, that's dangerous. Sabrosa, you're in trouble. Getting cooked alive. That's fresh Sabrosa for you. 2 ultimates now in combination for Envy. Spots out Hayes from range, but now they can get to safety. This round is igniting. Marv gets spot from behind the pyramids, but the Viper Spit is protecting the opposite side. The swing through! Hayes is down, just down a bang. You've got injured members, and now it's the 1v1. The pick goes down, the 1v1 to spray the Vandal! It's Finesse to tie us up!
Bang can't find it at the very end, and it is now all up to even for Envy. They fought back hard on this attacking side, 9-3 at the half. It's over. Let's go to map 3. Ascent, it's going to be exciting. No, Envy want to get their first win on Breeze here in VCT, and they are geared up to do it. They've only lost 1 round on this half. That was the 3rd round coming out. after the full buy of TSM, and they've got everything, right? You still have the Hunter's Fury, you're ready to go. The lurks through have been absolutely phenomenal for Envy. Even that round, there's a tripwire telling TSM their players pushing into your spawn once it's broken. Envy don't care. They're still able to get the kill, see someone from behind, and now Wardell, once again, we must ask him to show up, and show up he does with the first. Yeah,
still though traded out by Ye, and Envy will actually back away. Finesse is going to be in an interesting position as the Cabbages are coming his way. He's got to back away, and he'll back away to give them a little bit more space. Oh, he's leading them so far away, and he's going to still find a pick regardless. One more body peek there from Sabrosa. Will find those Guardian shots, but they're prepared over towards the A side. Levi playing close to his chest, playing tighter angle with the Spectre, but he's being volleyed out of position. Finds more! Oh, does he find that second? Crashy still finds one on the way out, but he's all on his lonesome now. Sabrosa and Wardell, name a better combination for TSM, and that's match point.
Leviathan and a Spectre, perhaps, through the smoke, finds a second one out of nowhere. TSM needed a clutch individual to show up. Wardell helped out with the first kill here, but really, it's Leviathan burning down in a Molotov and just literally randomly gets a second kill with the spam through smoke. Beautifully done from him, and now TSM have the chance to force us to a third map, but it's full buys on Envy's side. Leviathan still has to hold on to that Spectre, but it served him well in round 23. Let's see how it does him in round 24.
Pit is down. Cosmic Divide available here for TSM. Hunter's Fury and Cabbages on the opposite side here for Envy. What ends up being used here in combination? And it's usually what happens between Ye and Wardell. That's always been such a pivotal factor. Smoke to allow Ye to push in, but I think Finesse did not intend to molly Ye off from his passageway, and he's playing so close. Oh! Hayes gets the jump. What a great opening pick. The Cabbages now finally coming through. They're looking to execute. They're being pushed in. Bang alongside Levi are getting overwhelmed on the B site, and Levi's just stuck in this pit now. Has to play on both sides, but the neural theft is going to help out so much. Finds the pick onto Marv. That's going to open things up. They're taking them apart one player at a time. It's just Victor. This is what map 3 feels like. Victor, his odds are all against him. It's still a possibility. 1v3. Pit is up. Levi's playing within it. He's and Wardell long from the site. No, Victor's
30
here.
seconds
First
left.
one peeks. Levi just has to wrap around. He's waiting for the jump through. Pillar. Shot's good for Wardell, though. The pillar